A warm welcome to everyone and Namaste. From today, for the next few episodes, we will discuss about another interesting topic from Bhagavat Gita. I call it as Success Formula from Bhagavat Gita. Now, before I begin about the topic, let me give you some interesting quotes about what is success. So the first quote, it says, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. So whenever we are after success, whenever we are working hard to get success, definitely there will be failure. But we should not worry too much about the failure. So without losing enthusiasm, we should continue to get the success. Let me give you an example. So all of us, we like one of the very special and interesting cartoon called Tom and Jerry. In this cartoon, Tom is very big and powerful than Jerry, the mouse, which is smaller and not so powerful. But in the race of Tom and Jerry, Tom always wins. Jerry always wins, Tom always loses. Even though Tom is powerful, still Tom loses the race. Can you guess why? Because Tom is running for its food, but Jerry is running for its life. Now, with this example, it is very clear that the purpose of life or the purpose for which we are working matters a lot. For Tom, what was the purpose? Just to have a meal, a food. But for Jerry, it is its life. So even though it was small, because the purpose was strong, Jerry always would win. So similarly, we need to understand what kind of purpose in life we have in front of us. Is it very strong? If our purpose is very strong, then be rest assured that we are going to get success. Very interesting quote. Another quote. It says, there is no royal road to success, but after success, every road becomes royal. Very interesting. I'll repeat. There is no royal road to success, but after success, every road becomes royal. How? Many times, whatever we try to do to get success, there are so many people around us who will criticize us, who will speak ill against us because they think that we are trying to do something which nobody has done it. They laugh at us. But when we continue to do that and when we get success in the same field, the same people who criticized us would like to follow us. So that is why until we get success, we should not stop, we should continue. So I give the example about life. Life is all about problems. Many times people think, in life I always want happiness. Sorry, it is not possible. So life means it is all about problems. And that's all. So when problems come in front of us, what should we do? So life means how maturely, how wonderfully, how nicely we manage these problems is what actually is success. So life definitely put in front of us so many problems, but how well we manage, how well we solve the problems is what the success of life is all about. Another quote. We cannot be successful unless we have courage to fail. Many times we think whatever attempt we make, we should yield success. I am sorry, that is not going to happen. So every attempt may not lead to success. We will fail, we have to fall, we have to fail, and then how many times we are ready to raise, how many times we are ready to get up, that defines our success. So that's why I say we cannot be successful unless we have courage to fail. So I generally tell, do not think about failures when you are doing anything in life. That's why I say there are two kinds of people who play a game. So the first kind of people, they play the game to win, and second class of people, they play a game not to lose. Both sound similar. One person wants to win, another person doesn't want to lose. Both looks very similar, but there is a gulf of difference. What is the difference? The difference in attitude. The first person, he wants to win and he will play to win and he will win. But the second person, he doesn't want to lose. So he always plays a defense. He will not try to hit sixers in a cricket, rather he doesn't want to get out. That is the difference in attitude. So in our life, if you are a student, definitely you were a student before or now also you are a student. So in our schools, in education, in different subjects, they give us formulas. What is so special? What is the significance of formulas? So formulas help us to remember things easily, because in detail things we can't remember, but when we know the formula, it becomes easy for us to remember the essence of what we are studying. So that is why I have made this beautiful formula called, I call it as 4D formula for success from Bhagavad Gita. So I have made this 4D, meaning it is an acronym, D, D, D and D. It is an acronym 4D for success from Bhagavad Gita. Come, let us explore what exactly it is. So the first D stands for desire. So what Bhagavad Gita offers us insight about this desire, let us analyze. So in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 62nd verse says, Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. Now Arjuna wanted to fight. He wanted to destroy Kauravas and wanted to win the throne for Pandavas. And he was ready. Arjuna was not at all an ordinary person. Arjuna was champion among the champions. So Arjuna prepared well for the fight, and he comes to the war field and he sits on the Rath chariot and he comes in the center of the Kurukshetra, the war field, and he sees everyone, Bhishma, Drona, and he becomes bewildered. At the beginning he desired to fight, now he is desiring not to fight. So what he does? He removes his armor, he removes his astra, shastra and keeps it down and tells Krishna, "Oh Krishna, I don't want to fight." Have you experienced similar kind of situation? In our life, we also want to do something. We get up and go ahead, we prepare well, and when we go to the battlefield, meaning whatever the path you have chosen for the success, we go there and we see the competitors, we see, they are more powerful than us, and then we decide not to fight. Same thing happened to Arjuna's life. So at that time, Krishna had to educate Arjuna. How he has to educate? Because Arjuna was himself a very, very intelligent person, very smart, very intelligent. So for that, in that situation, Krishna had to give Arjuna a very logical understanding about why he should continue to fight. For your information, in the Bhagavad Gita, 1st chapter, Krishna doesn't speak. In the entire 1st chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is not speaking at all. In one of the verse, in the 15th verse, Krishna just smiles. That's what Vyasadeva writes. And Krishna starts speaking only from 2nd chapter, 11th verse. Until then, it was Arjuna and all other army people who are present in the battle. The description about them is described. So here, Krishna is making a wonderful analysis about desire. So Krishna says in the verse, Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Let us try to analyze what exactly he is speaking. Number 1, Krishna is saying, for desire to manifest, first thing happens is dhyana. Dhyayato comes from the word dhyana, meaning thinking, contemplating, meditating. So now we see some sense object It may be, for example, a gulab jamun or a beautiful girl in front of us. So we see that sense object and we start thinking about it. Wow, this gulab jamun is so nice. I want to have it. I want to enjoy it. But actually speaking, there is no gulab jamun in front of me. But what is happening? In the mind, we are thinking, meditating and contemplating about gulab jamun. And we are thinking, I want to have gulab jamun. I want to enjoy gulab jamun. This is contemplation. This is the first stage before the desire manifests. First is dhyana. So this thinking depends on our previous experiences. So if I have experienced previously, then I want to enjoy that gulab jamun now. So I am taking this gulab jamun example to connect to this particular verse. So this is dhyana, contemplation. Let us explore about this verse, what Krishna is exactly speaking about desire. He makes a very beautiful analysis. He says, number one, dhyana. Dhyayato means contemplation, thinking, meditating. So desire manifests after these steps, and the first step is about dhyana, contemplation. Now the question comes, yes, we contemplate, we think about something, but about what? That is vishayan. That is contemplation about sense object. What exactly is the meaning of vishaya or sense object? It may be a gulab jamun, it may be money, it may be opposite sex, it may be movie, whatever we want to enjoy in life. So all these things come under the category of vishaya. So now all of us in our life, we always keep thinking about what we want to enjoy. So I give the example that there is a gulab jamun. I am just thinking and meditating about this gulab jamun. I want to have it. I want to enjoy this gulab jamun. So first there is thinking about the vishaya, that is sense object. So Krishna says, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha, that is all of us human beings. Then after dhyana, contemplation, and after contemplation about the sense object, what happens? This contemplation leads to attachment. Sangaha. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangha. That is, sangha means attachment. Now I thought about gulab jamun that I want to enjoy. So these thoughts, this thinking creates a strong urge and a strong attachment that somehow I want to enjoy this gulab jamun. That is sangha. Now I want to get attached. I want to own it. Same with somebody falls in love. A boy falls in love with a girl. So he's thinking, meditating about this girl. Day in, day out he's thinking about the girl. And these thoughts, this dhyana gets translated into attachment. Now once he gets attachment, he wants to own that girl. A girl wants to own that boy whom she loves. So when this attachment is developed, then it becomes strong. So dhyana increases, attachment increases. So this attachment further leads to what? Further leads to desire. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kama means, don't think it is only lust. Kama means desire. So now this attachment leads to desire. Dhyana can come either from reading or by seeing or by hearing. It can come. Basically it actually enters through gnanendriyas. So what are the gnanendriyas? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. So from these gnanendriyas, knowledge acquiring senses, the knowledge about the sense object enters inside the mind. So then we start contemplating in the mind. Mind is a storehouse of thoughts. So mind starts thinking, meditating, contemplating, and this contemplation leads to attachment. And this attachment further leads to desire. That is what Krishna is saying. So now when we hear this shloka and Krishna's analysis, what is the lesson for us? The lesson is we should be very, very careful about what we are thinking, what we are meditating, what is happening, what is going on inside the mind matters a lot, because whatever we are thinking, that thoughts will ultimately lead to desire, and once we get this desire, then somehow we want to get it. If it is good, then it is good. If the desire is good, and the sense object what we are thinking is good, then everything is good, well and good. But if the mind is thinking something about negative or about a wrong, bad habits, then these strong desires to enjoy will also lead to frustration. Krishna very interestingly tells about this desire. So from this we see the entire Mahabharata war started because of Duryodhana's desire. So Duryodhana, somehow or other, he wanted to usurp the entire kingdom, Hastinapur. So the entire war happened because of Duryodhana's desire. So similarly, in this story line, in this success formula from Bhagavad Gita, I will be keeping one example, one story constantly, and that is the story of about a student. So now a student, if he wants to top in the school or college, first of all need to have a strong desire. Once a student has a strong desire that I want to top the college, I want to get first rank or 90%, 80%, once the desire is there, then he will work for it. If a student, he does not desire to be a topper, then failure is sure. So a student first of all should desire to top the college or top the school. So whatever and wherever we are is because once we desired. Now I am sitting here and speaking in front of all of you. How it can happen? Because once I had a desire to speak, and all of you are sitting here and listening because once you desired to hear something good. So similarly, whatever status, whatever situation, whatever circumstance we are in, it depends on the desire once we had before. Very important point. Now this is a very interesting point we need to be very attentively hearing. That is, every creation happens twice. Are you aware about this? Every creation happens twice. The first creation happens, I call it as mental creation. So mentally first we need to plan what we want to do. It may be, so I call it as goal setting. So this mental creation or a blueprint, even if someone wants to construct a beautiful a castle or a bungalow, first it has to come on the paper. So that is a blueprint. So first creation happens in the mind and on the paper, and second creation happens, that is physical creation, and this happens because of time management. It's very interesting. So in our life, whenever you plan, whenever you want to get success, you need to have these two steps. One is mental creation, then second step is actual creation. So now very interesting thing is, in Ramayana we see Ravan desired to enjoy Sita. Ravan was a powerful personality. He was in the TV, in the serials, in the movies, they might have shown Ravana as a demon with horns. Actually speaking, Ravan was very handsome. He was very powerful personality. And because he was so handsome, he was so powerful, women, Apsaras, would fall in love with this Ravan. And these Apsaras would come and propose to Ravan that please, we want to be with you. So that was the power and personality Ravan was. But even though having so many sense objects to enjoy, Ravana still desired Sita to enjoy. And finally what happened? We call Sita as goddess of fortune. Very beautiful word. We call Sita, Mother Sita, as goddess of fortune. She is the expansion of Lakshmi. She gives actually fortune. But in Ravan's life, the goddess of fortune became goddess of misfortune. That was Ravan. So Ravan desired to enjoy Sita, and finally what happened? He got destroyed. On the other hand, Vibhishan desired to serve Sita and became king of Lanka. So Ravan had desire, Vibhishan also had desire, but Ravan's desire destroyed him. Vibhishan's desire to serve the mother of the goddess of fortune made him to become the king. So that is, the desire is same, but in one person's desire destroyed him, another person's desire elevated him. That is the point here. Another interesting story is about the famous ship called Titanic. Do you know what was the slogan they had given when they manufactured this ship? They had mentioned, the ship which even God cannot sink. But all of us know what happened to it. In the first voyage, it was sunk. So Titanic is such a huge ship and it was floating on the water. So my point here is, the water in one form was helping Titanic, the ship, to float. But water in the other form as iceberg destroyed it. So water is same, but in one form it was helping, in the other form as iceberg it destroyed the Titanic. So therefore, as long as we live, desires will be there, but we have to desire right thing in a right time, in a right way. Then only we achieve success in a right way. So another interesting example or a story is given by Sri Shankaracharya. He quotes a very beautiful verse. He says, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashanabhinam jatam tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapina munchati asha pindam. Very beautiful verse. So let us try to analyze this verse, what exactly Shankaracharya means here. He says, Angam galitam. You can see here, Angam means the bodily parts, the skin. Galitam meaning, here he is saying, as we grow older and older, what happens to us? He is actually analyzing that. Angam galitam, all our bodily parts gets weakened. It gets weakened. Palitam mundam, what happens as we grow? Our hair will fall. Then we are completely bewildered. What happened to my head? It becomes bald. Palitam mundam. Dashanavihinam jatam tundam, meaning all our teeth also falls. Then what happens? Vruddho yati grihitva dandam, and we become so old, so weak that we can't walk without the support. So what do? Dandam, we take danda. So beautiful 4 points he says. When we grow old, what happens? First, number 1, angam galitam, all our bodily parts become weakened. Palitam mundam, hair will fall. Whether you use all clear, head and shoulder, whatever shampoo, soap you use, but still hair will fall. Dashanavihinam jatam tundam, all the teeth will also fall. Vruddho yati grihitva dandam, and we become so old that we can't walk. So finally we take the support of a stick, meaning our life is nothing actually. We are so weak, we don't have anything. But still what happens? Shankaracharya beautifully says, Tadapina munchati asha pindam. Even though we become so old, but still this asha pinda, the desire to enjoy, will never go away. That is the point here. So that is why in the news, newspaper, in the TV news, we see so many older people, they actually abuse small children. They get into all sort of nonsense. Why? Because actually speaking, they don't have energy, they don't have strength, but the desire in the mind will never go away. I'll give you another example. Many times when we are having lunch or dinner, physically our stomach is full, but mentally mind wants to eat some more sweets, some more chapatis, some more puris. But actually speaking, the physical strength is over. Stomach is full, but mind wants to have more and more and more. And this is called asha. And what happens? Many times we overeat many times and we feel like vomiting, and definitely all of you might have experienced, sometimes we even have vomited. But still we want to have more and more and more.